Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. And today we're gonna be making a cheesecake. That is right. I'm gonna show you guys how I make my delicious cheesecake. It's super easy and you don't need a lot of ingredients. So I already have my oven preheated to 350 degrees and we're going to be using a springform pan. Now this is a 9-inch springform pan. I always buy these little disposable ones just to make things easier for myself. I do not like to clean that pan. So I'm going to set that to the side and we're going to get our ingredients together. First things first, you're going to want a package of cream cheese. This is 8 ounces. You're also going to want 1 and 2 cups of granulated sugar. Now, I like to use the Domino brand because it's got that really fine texture to it. And then you're going to want 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. You're also going to want 4 large eggs. Then for the crust part of it, I usually like to use like a graham cracker or animal cracker crust, but today we're making an Oreo crust, so I have 14 Oreo cookies. You're going to want 6 tablespoons of butter, and you can either use a food processor or in a Ziploc bag, crush up your Oreo cookies. I'm going to be using a food processor because I have one. So go ahead and crush up those Oreo cookies. Once they're all crushed up, you're going to want to add your butter. And once that's all mixed in, you're going to pour that into your springform pan. Now I like to press it up against the side so it kind of acts as like a glue. And then you're going to want to put some sort of parchment paper or a little bit of aluminum foil just to cover that bottom portion. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put that in the oven and we're just going to bake it for 10 minutes. While that's baking, we can go ahead and mix up our cream cheese and our sugar. I'm just using a regular old mixer, but go ahead and cream that together until it looks like something that you would see in the store. Nice and smooth. And then we're going to add our vanilla. And then one at a time, we're going to add our eggs, making sure that each egg is fully incorporated before adding the next one. Once all the eggs are added, you're going to pour that mixture on top of your Oreo crust, and then you're going to want to put this entire thing into the oven. Now, since we're using a springform pan, I always put this whole entire thing inside of a larger pan. This just helps with the water bath technique. If you don't do a water bath, you run the risk of your cheesecake cracking. So, we're going to pour some hot water into that larger pan, and then we're going to put this into the oven. We're going to bake this for 50 to 60 minutes. The cheesecake is done when the edges are just barely set. If you overbake this, it will be dry, so you want to make sure that you do not overbake it. Once it's done baking, you're going to want to take it out, and you're going to let it cool down completely on a wire rack. I usually like to put some sort of cardboard under it just to protect my wire rack. Once it's cooled down completely, you can either eat it like it is, or you can make a sweet or a sour cream topping. For this particular cheesecake, we're actually going to do both. I have a small saucepan on the stove. I have some granulated sugar and cornstarch. I'm just mixing that together so that there's no lumps. And then we're going to slowly start adding some water just a little bit at a time, mixing constantly until it starts thickening. Once it's thickened, we're going to turn off the heat, and then we're going to add some butter and some salt. You just want to keep mixing that together until the butter has been fully incorporated. Once it's fully incorporated, you can go ahead and pour that on top of your cheesecake. Now for the sour cream part of it, I have a bowl and I have sour cream and sugar. I'm just adding that to taste, so you can either add more or less depending upon how much sour cream you're using. And then once that's all mixed together, you can go ahead and spread that on top. You can either put this in the refrigerator or you can eat it like it is. I like to put mine in the refrigerator just so it can firm up a little bit. And then once it's firmed up, you can go ahead and slice it and serve. And that right there, my friends, is how you make a cheesecake. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.